Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CarAlarm podcast. My name is Alex,
And I'm Gavin.
and today we're going to review SmackDown Live from July 11th, 2017, of course,
I unfortunately didn't get to watch the show.
which isn't much of a surprise. You seem to always miss the SmackDowns, but it's fine. You have a reasonable excuse. So, luckily, you have this guy right here to give you the rundown on some not too in-depth, but in-depth enough notes. Yep, and an okay memory. Not quite that of dementia or anything, but, good enough to be giving you the information from last night.
Thank you.
Do you want to just get right in here?
Yeah.
Okay, so the show opens with a video package showing AJ Styles win the United States Championship at Madison Square Garden over the weekend, where he beat Kevin Owens. And then AJ Styles is introduced to the ring as the U.S. champion, and he basically says that he's the real United States champion. He's going to bring legitimacy back to the championship. And he is once again starting the thing that John Cena started, which is the U.S. Open Challenge. So,
I like that.
yeah, I know you like the Open Challenge a lot. And he said that it is starting immediately. So the Open Challenge started then, and the first, how do I say?
Contestant?
I was going to say like acceptor, but I don't know if acceptor is a word. The first person to accept the Open Challenge is John Cena. He runs down to the ring, and at first Cena kind of questions the legitimacy of Styles' Open Challenge. He's like, this is an Open Challenge, right? That means I'm included too. But let me guess, everyone else but me, right? And Styles was like, no, what? I want to fight you. And Cena was like, okay, well then I accept. But right before the bell rings, Kevin Owens' music hits. He heads down to the ring. He starts kind of trashing on both of them, saying that he's the one that deserves the United States Championship. And right when Cena gets the mic, he kind of starts saying, if Owens, if you want to fight, come in here. I'll beat you right now. Then I'll run through AJ Styles too. And then Rusev comes in and just super kicks John Cena.
Oh dear.
Owens goes in, powerbombs AJ, and Rusev gets in the accolade on Cena. And then they're both knocked down, and Owens and Rusev leave to end the segment.
So there was no Open Challenge.
There was no Open Challenge this week. I assume there will be next week. And later on in the night, Cena says with AJ Styles, they're kind of backstage, that later on they are going to have their U.S. Championship match. And I'm assuming it'll be a SummerSlam. Because Cena has his match with Rusev at Battleground, a flag match, if you remember.
Yeah. Why flag match though?
I don't know.
How did the last flag match even go? Like, how do you win?
There's a flag on, like, in opposing corners of the ring, and you have to just take the flag off the pole and then hold it, and then you win. It's like a children's version of Money in the Bank or a ladder match. Yeah, it's dumb, but it might be good. I mean, whatever, it's fine. It is dumb. So is kendo stick on a pole. That's probably the worst you can get.
Yeah.
Let's connect a pole to a pole. That's a good match with a string.
Ow.
You okay?
Yeah, my neck just broke.
Alright, well, as long as you're not paralyzed, can you still speak?
Yeah, I can speak.
Alright, then let's continue with this. We'll get you some care afterwards. The next segment is Jinder Mahal versus Ty Dillinger.
We get Ty Dillinger?
We get Ty Dillinger, and he's in a wrestling match, one-on-one. But he loses clean to Jinder Mahal.
That doesn't surprise me, but I'm glad we actually get him in a match with the world champion.
Me too. I'm very happy. Ty Dillinger is incredible. He deserves, he's still really young, I think. I think he's mid-20s. Yeah. So I'm sure it's not that big of a deal that he's nothing special right now. I mean, as far as, like, they're not using him as anything big,
Yeah.
But he can be, and I hope he will be. Same with Chad Gable. Both of those guys need to...
They're amazing.
And they're both homegrown, too, for WWE. So I think it'd be smart to use them. Because most of the roster is filled up with indie talent now.
Yeah.
You don't get that many homegrown talent like you used to. But after the match, Mahal gets on the mic and says that next week he is bringing the Punjabi prison for Randy Orton to show Randy Orton that basically he doesn't stand a chance against Mahal. So the Punjabi prison will be there next week. I don't really know why.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, just like save it for Battleground.
Yeah. I guess they just want to show it for people who don't know what it looks like, or don't have internet, or don't have eyes to see the giant screen that was shown last week and the week before that to show what the Punjabi prison is. But whatever. Maybe they have a new one. Maybe they remade it.
Maybe.
But it was an okay match. Dillinger sadly lost clean, which is fine, like I said, but I kind of would rather someone interfere. But maybe you need to make a champion look strong, so I guess I don't care that much. Next is Xavier Woods versus Jey Uso. It's just a singles match. And the match goes on for a little while, not long at all, before Jimmy kind of interferes when Woods is against the rope. He does I think he did like a kick to Woods' back. And New Day, Big E, and Kofi just kind of run in the ring, and then the other Uso runs the ring. They all just kind of stand there. The ref's like, no, 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 everyone leave. He kicks every single person out except for Xavier Woods and Jey Uso. And then the match goes on for another 2 or 3 minutes before Xavier Woods hits his mid-rope elbow drop. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're like, you know Del Rio used to do his double stomp thing?
Yeah.
They're like that, but they're on the middle rope laying down, and then they're trying to like pull themselves up, and then Woods springboards into an elbow drop. Yeah. That's apparently his finisher. So he does that and gets the win on Jey.
Nice.
But I like his eat the feet finisher. Do you remember that one? Where he would grab the arm, put his foot against their face, and then drop down?
Yes.
That one was cool. I like that. I like that one better. This one's cool too, but this seems more like just like a move you just pull out, you know? Yeah, not much with the tag teams this week. That was really it.
Really?
Yeah. I guess they're going to have a rematch at Battleground. I don't know what's going to happen for SummerSlam. Maybe they'll do like a Fatal 4-Way tag match at SummerSlam or Triple Threat.
Maybe. That'd be nice.
I'd like the American Alpha to get back in title contention. If you're not going to split them up for Chad.
Yeah, we really need American Alpha to do something.
Yes.
Other than just sit there and, I don't know, be American.
Yeah. Well, Usos, I imagine, I feel like they're probably going to retain the championships. Whether it's by cheating or whatever, but I feel like they're probably going to retain. And then you can have New Day win at SummerSlam. I'm cool with that. They probably get the biggest reaction if they win at SummerSlam rather than Battleground.
Probably.
Okay, we'll move on here. Shane McMahon is backstage with the entire women's locker room, basically. I mean, it starts off I think it was Charlotte at first, and then Natalya came, and Becky came, and Tamina came, and Lana, and it all kind of just went to a mess of all the women backstage arguing at Shane, saying that they need to be in a women's championship match. So Shane McMahon says there will be a fatal 5-way elimination #1 contenders match. You can get all that out at Battleground. It'll be Lana, Tamina, Natalya, Becky, and Charlotte.
Nice.
And the winner will face Naomi for the championship at SummerSlam.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
I'm a little disappointed the title's not on the line at Battleground, but that's fine.
It'll be at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it will be. And Naomi's been doing a great job as champion, so I mean I can accept this. Who do you think? Any predictions of who you think's gonna win? Maybe fight Naomi at SummerSlam.
Charlotte or Becky?
Charlotte or Becky?
Yep.
I think so too. I think I would really want to see, because it started off with Charlotte and Naomi with Shane, and then Becky came, and I was like, oh yeah, triple threat. I'd really like to see a triple threat between those three. But I think Naomi and Charlotte could have a great singles match as well. So I'm fine with that. You want to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we have the singles match that was promised from last week. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin.
I forgot about this match, and they were advertising it last time on Raw, and I wanted to see it.
Well, too bad it didn't happen. So, here's what happened. During Baron Corbin's entrance, Nakamura came out first. During Corbin's entrance, Nakamura ran out of the ring, just laid them out, and they just started brawling all around. They ended up going over the barricade, into the crowd, and then kind of back and by the ringside before they were just broken up by refs, and I think Finley or Road
So
Dogg,
no
someone.
match.
No match. No contest. And that was the whole segment.
At least I didn't miss anything.
Nope. But, yeah, you really didn't miss that much this week except for the whole AJ Styles, Kevin Owens thing. That was really great. AJ Styles looks great with the title, too. They said that Nakamura and Corbin will be at Battleground. So that's when that's going to happen. You got to wait another week and a half, I think. Next Sunday, it's Battleground. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Next up, we have the women's division segment of the night. It is Becky and Charlotte versus Tamina and Natalya. And the match is not that long, but it's pretty good. One thing I noted is that Becky's hair is no longer the amazingly bright orange that it used to be.
What is it, like a dull orange now?
Yeah, it's like a dull orange, a little bit of blonde at the bottom. I don't like it as much. I like the just that's way too bright for hair color. I like that a lot. Lana ends up coming out mid-match to watch the rest of the match by ringside at the head of the ramp. But just as Charlotte's kind of starting to make some moves, Lana jumps on the apron, distracts her, and Natalya makes a tag behind her back to Tamina. And Charlotte hits a move on Natalya, and then Tamina comes in, super kicks Charlotte, gets the win.
Dang.
What do you think about Lana?
I think she's pretty okay, like as far as in
I think
ring.
so too.
And she's been pretty good on the mic with Rusev and all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's gonna like get really good.
She's got Tamina now too.
True.
Which I don't know if they're going full fledged with that. It seemed like they were a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. I think it was last week when Tamina interfered on her behalf. Well, anyway, we can move on here if you want.
Sure.
So, Maria and Mike Kanellis. They are on every week, and their little segments are fun. And once again, Sami Zayn's back to have some fun with them. Maria and Mike Kanellis are backstage. Earlier on in the night, Maria was running around the locker room, knocking on the male locker room, looking for Sami Zayn. She just wanted to, I guess, yell at him. But Sami ended up finding them, and Maria was demanding an apology from Sami Zayn from last week for interrupting their little love fest. And Zayn says he's not going to give anyone an apology, because if anything, he deserves an apology for not, being included in everything, because Sami Zayn is an absolutely crazy person. Sami questions them and asks if Mike is the lover and Maria is the fighter. And then Maria slaps the mess out of Sami Zayn. And then Mike grabs a vase nearby, because of course there's a vase of flowers whenever Mike and Maria Kanellis are around. And he just smashes it over the back of Sami Zayn.
Oh dear.
Knocks him down, and they just walk off. And that's the whole thing with that.
I know what's happening at Battleground.
Mike versus Sami?
Yeah.
Probably. I haven't watched Mike Bennett.
I haven't.
I might go back and check out a couple matches so I can predict whether or not it'll be a good match. I think he's good. I've heard his name a lot, so either it's because he's really bad or it's because he's really good. So, do you think that'd be a Battleground or SummerSlam? Because
I think it should be at Battleground.
I think it's really close for Battleground though, because I mean, unless next week you have the match get challenged for. Mike hasn't really been introduced as an in-ring competitor yet. Because Sami was kind of asking him, what do you guys even do here? Do either of you even wrestle? He didn't say wrestle, of course, because it's WWE. He said compete, but I don't know. I'd like to see. Regardless, I like Maria and Mike Kanellis, so I like to see them on screen more, doing whatever.
They're pretty okay.
I like their characters. I think they fit in well. Especially on such a small scale they are now. It's nice to just see them in a little every now and then. There was a Tyler Breeze and Fandango segment, which I didn't write down, where they were the Walkus Texas Rangers. They were dressed up as cowboys, basically. And they were just talking to the Hype Bros. So there wasn't much to it. Literally, the only joke out of it was Zack Ryder asked Tyler Breeze, because Tyler Breeze had a lasso of truth wrapped around him that he just couldn't get out of. He was just trapped in it. And Zack Ryder asked Tyler Breeze if whenever he goes undercover if he wears a bra, and Tyler Breeze said, "Of course I do." So that's really it. And Mojo came up and Zack Ryder was kind of like, "Dude, you eliminated me last week in the Battle Royal. What was up with that?" Mojo was saying, one for all. Or did I say that right? Probably not. Every man for himself. So it wasn't anything. I didn't write it down because it wasn't notable, but I remembered it.
Good job.
Thank you. So we're at the main event. You ready?
Yeah.
The main event is AJ Styles and John Cena versus Kevin Owens and Rusev. It's about a 20-minute match. It was really good.
I bet it would be. All four of those guys are pretty good.
Cena ends up getting the win over Kevin Owens with an attitude adjustment, but not after he didn't. It's really refreshing to not see Super Cena. I know he's not been Super Cena for a while now, maybe like a year and a half or so.
Yeah.
But it's still just nice, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Cena was about to AA Owens, but Owens got out of it. And then Rusev came in, and you know how they have the back and forth. Move.
Yeah.
2 men left standing. Cena ended up getting the AA. Styles came in and helped him. But, usually if this was 2 years ago, Cena would have just AA'd Owens. Rusev would have came in, AA Rusev, and then pinned Kevin Owens. Well, no, tap out Kevin Owens with the STF.
Yeah, that.
But it was nice. It's good. I like John Cena a lot.
I do too.
Especially now. So to close the show, Styles and Cena kind of face off for a bit before John Cena finally realizes that AJ Styles kind of turned a new leaf since their last match. And he gives him respect, shakes his hand, and he holds his arm up. And then they both just celebrate at the top of the turnbuckle to close the show.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is. I'm really looking forward to their SummerSlam rematch. I hope it's a SummerSlam match. It deserves to be for the U.S. title. That should be the main event.
Of course it should.
I would love to see the United States Championship main event show. I don't think it ever has.
Well, it needs to.
And it feels like the most important title on SmackDown, easily.
It is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Jinder, but, you've got a mid-carder holding the supposedly most important title.
And you got main eventers
tearing
the house down, fighting for the U.S. title every night.
I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer here when you have John Cena and AJ Styles fighting over the U.S. title.
Yeah. And you know what? I understand why they had the U.S. title change on the house show, too. They do that every now and then. If you remember, they did it on NXT with Samoa Joe. He beat Finn Balor on a house show.
Yeah.
They do it, I guess, just to first promote their house shows because, anything can happen at a house show. Of course, you're going to be like, oh, the United States title's on the line? I got to go to that. Maybe it's going to change hands. You never know. But also, I guess it was Madison Square Garden, which is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people there. So, why not? And it made people talk, for sure. Everyone was like, oh my god, AJ Styles, he just won the title off screen. So,
it definitely surprised me when I heard about it.
Yeah, me too. First, AJ Styles one day, and the next day, Austin Aries released. Just a barrage of news over the weekend. It's hard to handle. But I'm glad AJ's finally champion.
Me too.
He looks really good with the U.S. title. If he's not going to have a world title. I like the idea of AJ Styles always holding a title, no matter what title it is, because he just deserves it. This is his second year, I think, in WWE.
Think so.
And he's U.S. champion. So, title of the year for AJ Styles so far. You could say it's a bit of a downgrade from a world title, but it doesn't feel like one.
No.
It feels like this is the main event title. They closed the show and opened it with it. So, and Cena, Owens, Rusev, and Styles are fighting for it. Then you have Mahal and Orton.
Which I like Orton a lot.
Yeah, Orton's good.
Jinder Mahal is pretty good. But
for the world title?
It doesn't feel as big.
No, it really doesn't. It doesn't feel big at all. It feels like a mid-card match that shouldn't be for a title. Or if it's for a title, it should be for, like, the United States title when it doesn't look great.
Exactly. Which pretty much when it's not on Owens, Cena, or Styles.
Yeah. Or Rusev. Rusev makes the title look pretty good.
Yeah, he did, actually. I forgot he held it.
For a long time. Twice, I think. I think he had it twice.
He did, and it was great.
each time.
I like how Rusev's making, like, you know how he was really, really strong, and then Cena beat him, and then he just looked weak for a while?
Yeah.
I like how he's starting to get back up there.
Yeah. Well, right now he's kind of. I wouldn't say he's definitely not weak, but he's definitely also not super super strong. He's average now. He's like, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens should be that super tough guy that destroys everyone, but he's not quite there yet. He's cocky enough to be,
Yeah.
but he's not there yet. So he's about where Rusev is. Rusev didn't take the pinfall, which is cool to see. So there you go. I don't think there was much else last night that happened.
Well, I'm really looking forward to Battleground and SummerSlam.
Me too.
And even though it's a flag match, I'm still looking forward to that match.
It'll probably be early on in the card, or it'll be a breaker between, like, whatever the main event of SummerSlam will be, which hopefully would be Joe and Lesnar. And what are they? Oh man, the world title might be in some trouble at SummerSlam. If Jinder still has it, think Jinder's gonna still have it.
I don't know.
What's the match gonna be at SummerSlam? Let's speculate on that real quick, because you have Mahal and Orton fighting for it in a Punjabi prison match, which, whatever.
Honestly, you get a chair, you can break through it.
Yeah. No, it's steel reinforced.
Really?
Yeah. It's not just bamboo.
Why?
I don't know. To make it so you gotta climb over it.
But they just said escape. You can break that prison.
So I watched the Punjabi prison match with Batista and Great Khali. So here's how it works. The first cage is around the ring, and it's like a steel cage, but you don't climb over it. They have a door on each side. When you go to it, you tell the person to open the door, they'll open the door, you're out. After that, you have to climb over the second gate, which is about as tall as Hell in a Cell.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So, well, maybe it's about as tall as a steel cage, but from the ground, so good luck with that. So yeah, it's probably about as tall as Hell in a Cell. I didn't watch the finish of it, I just watched the rules part. And a little bit of the match, because Great Khali and Batista, I don't really want to see that.
I don't think anyone would want to see the Great Khali.
No one does.
He's not very entertaining or good, for that matter.
Nope. He's just big.
And, we've got Big Cass and the Big Show now, so we don't need the Great Khali.
Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Braun
Strowman's just the best.
Assuming, yeah, Braun Strowman's great. Oh, he's awesome. Assuming, that Mahal or Orton win, it doesn't really matter. Assuming either man wins, who's going to be the next person to contend for the title? Or is it just going to be Orton wins tonight and a rematch with Mahal at SummerSlam? I don't want to see that.
I hope not.
Or not tonight, I mean a Battleground.
Whoever wins, I don't know who will fight for it next.
Me neither. It doesn't seem like anyone else cares at all about the world title. Everyone's just fighting for the U.S. title. I don't blame them. AJ Styles has it.
Who's even left on the card to fight for it?
Everyone that's not fighting for the U.S. title or in a story, Ty Dillinger. You have Ty Dillinger.
Sammy's with.
Well, he probably could, but
yeah.
I doubt he's probably gonna have a thing with Mike. So, so you got Ty Dillinger. He's available. If you don't want him, you have Ty Dillinger.
I mean, he's like really the only guy.
Yeah, he really is. I honestly can't think of anyone else.
Shinsuke and Baron Corbin, the two guys who are, the only other two guys who are big enough to fight for the title right now are fighting each other.
Well, you know what? There you go, though. If Shinsuke, he's probably gonna go over Corbin. Corbin doesn't need the win. He's got the briefcase.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna go over Corbin, and if you can have Shinsuke versus Orton at set, that's a good match. It's good enough.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather someone rather than Orton fighting Shinsuke, like Cena or Styles,
or Owens,
but or another match with Sammy because that was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
But if you have Shinsuke and Orton, I'm not gonna complain. I've never seen that match before. I'd like to see it. Sure, it'd be good.
It'd be nice.
Both of them have a lot of charisma. Well, Orton has charisma at times.
When he wants to.
When he's wrestling. Not too much when he's on the mic. He just got intensity when he's on the mic. So that's what I'm gonna predict. I'm gonna go with Shinsuke and Orton for SummerSlam, the world title.
I would like that.
Me too.
Though I do believe that whoever's fighting Lesnar at SummerSlam is going to main event.
Yeah, I do too.
It'll be like...
Well, if it's Orton and Shinsuke, I honestly don't think they should main event over Lesnar and Joe, hopefully.
Of course they should. I'm sorry, but, U.S. Universal title looks bigger than the world title.
Yeah, thanks to Mahal. Well, okay.
I don't think
I'm not
it's just because of Mahal.
I don't either. I think it's just, in general, the champions of the world title haven't been booked very strongly lately, or important. They haven't made felt important.
I think it is kind of the problem that they did kind of put Mahal as world champion.
I think that's a part of it. Yeah.
I'm still saying that because he should have had the U.S. title first.
Here's the thing. I get what they were doing with Mahal. It was one, a surprise thing, and two, the India thing.
Yeah, trying to get more Indian fans, which I'm all for.
But they should have taken it off by now, I think. And maybe if you're gonna have him win it, I think they should have taken it off him relatively soon. Or I agree, the U.S. title would have been a better choice. You could have AJ with the world title right now.
And then everybody fight for the world title.
Yep. But that means Kevin Owens, the face of America, would have been beaten by Jinder Mahal. And I don't like that.
He's still... Kevin Owens can come back from that.
Yeah. But Orton can come back from it best.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm hoping for Shinsuke and Orton. Mahal. Hopefully he'll be phased out for a while. I'm not into him anymore. He's kind of just boring now.
He's kind of like just every other foreigner.
Yeah. Oh, well. Do you think Corbin will cash in at Battleground? I didn't consider that.
I didn't either. I don't think he will.
You don't think he will?
I think he'll save that.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
I think if he comes out to do it, it'll just be like a prank.
Like he did that a couple weeks ago, I think. After he won it. The night he won it, I believe.
Yeah. So I think that's what he'll do if he even comes out.
Probably. They have a whole year, so they really shouldn't rush it with Corbin.
Of course not.
Let him build up more before he's champ. Carmella, as well, I think the same thing goes for her. Don't rush it. Let it stay. You go past SummerSlam, maybe into TLC or something. Maybe around WrestleMania season you can have them cash in. Anything else to talk about?
Not really. I mean, we've kind of covered everything.
Yeah, I feel like it. You want to close out?
Yeah.
Okay. You can follow us on Twitter at CarAlarm Podcast.
And if you type in the little search bar on Facebook at Sounding Car Alarm, you'll find our page there with all our videos.
We are CarAlarm.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching.